And following on from the success of their debut single, This House Is Ours, that is the UK-based Americano duo, The Far North, and they have just announced the second single, Runaway, and that was on October the 9th, and the brand new album, Songs for Gentle Souls, is due for the release at the end of this week, and I am pleased to say that Lee Wylding from The Far North joins us now. And Lee, it's been a difficult time really for everybody, especially entertainers at this time, and I'd have thought releasing an album when you can't exactly get out there and do any gigs to promote it, I mean, it must be really awkward. How's it gone for you?
We've been all right. We did a load of Facebook live shows back in, I think, May, June, July. So we were doing it like 5-6 nights a week, just trying to get a bit of positivity up as well, and just for anyone that follows our social medias, we were doing like maybe an hour like every night. But I guess we've used it to our advantage in the fact that me and Andy obviously live together. She has a drum set up in one of the spare bedrooms, and so we can practice and we can just kind of hone what we've got really, just the two of us. So we've taken positives away from it. It's been tough though, and it remains to be.
And being in a band for me, it's probably one of the best things in the whole wide world. Are you? Was it always the plan for you?
Ever since I was about 14. I mean, I was a late comer to picking up the guitar and writing songs, but I was maybe 15 when I started that. So usually people pick up the guitar or start playing the piano around 8, I would assume. But for me, I was just a massive music fan. But as soon as I got involved with, well, not involved, but like as soon as I became aware of Britpop, as it came to be known, that was really my era. I was like 14 when Britpop hit. So for me to have all this music in the charts that was like quite local, it was all, guitar based. It was 4-minute pop songs, it was just an incredible time. So really, Oasis and Blur and Pulp and Suede and all those bands massively inspired me to want to be in a band and to write songs as well.
And the Far North is the name of your band. It's a relatively new outfit, really. You only formed last year.
That's right, yeah. Well, we were in a band called the Fireflies for about 15 years, and it just came to its natural end, really, as these things do. So me and Andy just, we kind of thought, well, we've got this, bag of songs that I've written, that some of them were part of the Fireflies canon as well. So I just thought we'll just keep going and see how it goes, and then I was writing a few more tracks and that we were practicing, and we just thought, we're going to give this a go, just the two of us, not having to rely on, there's 6 people in our last band, so just streamline it and just make it the best it could be with the most few players we could have, really, if that makes any sense.
And that's quite a regular thing now for just 2 people in a band, isn't it? The Ting Tings and the Royal Blood. I mean,
Royal Blood.
These guys. I mean, the sound that you can get with just 2 people is quite phenomenal.
Well, it is, because if you look at the Black Keys and obviously the White Stripes and all those other bands, Civil Wars, They do have a big sound live. Obviously in the studio you can add many musicians, which is exactly what we did with the great Nigel Stonia. But yeah, I mean, I think live we only did one show, unfortunately, before lockdown. So it was just me, my acoustic guitar, my harmonica, and Andy's drum kit. So we make quite a big noise for just 2 of us, and it just makes it easier because the songs are so acoustic. We didn't really need a bassist. We might look into getting a piano player at some point, but we just thought we'd keep it as as free as we could, really.
Yeah. And Andy is, of course, Andy Packer on the drums. A female drummer for me is like it's the coolest thing.
We completely agree. Not that many come to prevalence, in recent times doing it. But I mean, times have changed a bit now, because now people are just like, they'll come to see us after the gig or whatnot and just say, it's incredible that. And, a lot of young girls or, women will go up to Andy and just say, you're quite inspiring, really. And it's true. But years ago, like 10 years ago when she joined the Fireflies, you'd have like fellas being, "Are you all right for a girl?" And I honestly don't know what that means. Do you know what I mean? That's like a really weird kind of thing to say. I don't know where. I mean, it's ended now. That seems to have ended for us, certainly. But just a really strange kind of way to look at it, really. But no, she is, and she's she was featured drummer of the week in Drum magazine last year. And she's just been flying the flag for female drummers, everywhere really. So hopefully they'll continue to be inspired, and she has a lot of female inspirations herself. I think it's the way it should have always been, really. There is that divide between male and female, and I don't know why it's there. I just see, we're just people, aren't we? You know what I mean? So,
Exactly.
but we as we head into 2021, things seem to be, a lot more equal on not everywhere, but I think people are striving for it. People are massively woke now, and looking to just for equality across the board, which is always good.
And I read somewhere that the band, the Far North, the ethos of the band is to go back to a traditional way of crafting songs. What does that mean exactly?
Yeah, I think if you listen to the top 40 now, which I don't do a lot of, obviously, it just sounds like one long song for 3 hours. There's no fingerprints on it, there's no mistakes, there's no, it's just auto-tune and all the fingerprints have been rubbed off, and it all sounds so perfect, so engineered for Radio 1, so engineered for all these massive radio stations. And you'd be hard-pressed to find an actual song, a lot of the artists, it's like ridiculous mumble pop or something, because you can't understand what some of the singers are saying. It's not even clear, and that's not me being like a Philistine or anything. It's like I genuinely don't understand music now, and I've only just turned 40, so Andy's 30, so it's not like we're massively old. I know for me, maybe Jackson Browne, early 70s. Neil Young, Harvest, Born to Run era, Springsteen, 75. They're my favourite, a lot of my favourite artists, and I wanted to create music in that canon that it was, 4 songs and a whole lot of heart. Do you know what I mean? I write these songs and I mean them, and it's things that have happened to me. So ultimately, we just wanted to carry on in that vein. I don't think guitar music will ever go away, no matter how much people kind of say it will. If you look at the festivals like Download and Neighbourhood Weekender and Glastonbury, all full of guitar bands. So, okay, it's not mainstream in the top 40, but it's there and people still clamour for it,
Yeah. It sort of sprang out at me, the fact you called it crafting a song as opposed to writing a song. It makes it more. It sounds like you're almost building something from scratch.
Yeah, well, it does feel like that sometimes. I mean, most of the time when I write for the Far North, it'll come out straight away. It's like it's in the ether. I don't know if it was Bono that said it, like the guitar's a fishing rod and the songs are just up there. And it doesn't matter who you are, if you're a songwriter, if you're Chris Martin, one day Fixie just dropped out of the air, Noel Gallagher, Wonderwall dropped out of the air, these things. Yeah. So for me it feels like that because I don't put any effort into writing the songs whatsoever. They just kind of form fully evolved, but there is always that kind of craftsmanship part of it where it's fully evolved and it's there, but when you go into the studio, when you do it live, or when I present it to Andy and we do it as a band, then things do change a little bit. So you'll kind of hammer away at that bridge or that section or the repeat going out into the chorus, the coda, or so there is that element to it. I think songwriting is I think it's really underrated, especially now. I don't know if people still get the Ivor Novello anymore, or they still have awards for songwriting, but it's not something that I've seen. Like when in the 90s and the early 2000s, it was like songwriting was like this mercurial kind of mecca, do you know what I mean? But now it's just like anyone can write anything on the laptop and put it out there, and it's number one. It seems alien to me that we don't champion the songwriter anymore. Yeah. I don't know, maybe it's just me.
No, I know. I think you're absolutely right. And are you one of these that's always writing songs? Do you have a pen and a pad in your back pocket type of thing?
Yeah, well, I just use my the recorder on my phone, so I just sit. I've got a couple of guitars in the house, but I mainly say one of the bedrooms upstairs, and the guitar's in there, and I just take my phone in with me, and I take the iPad if I want to look at chord structures of some songs that I want to learn maybe. So I just press record and I'll go through it later on, and I'll just think, oh, that bit's all right. So then I might graft a bit onto another bit or another. If I've not written a fully fledged song, if it's just that I've got a chorus and I've got a verse from something else, and that might fit. But yeah, I take great pleasure in it, obviously, and it's one of my favourite things, to write songs and just to it just takes me away from everything. You know what I mean? Some people, whatever people do for fun or whatnot, for me, it's writing songs really, and it comes quite naturally to me.
And I've interviewed quite a few singer-songwriters over the years, and
Yeah.
people say now that you can just record it onto your phone and you can email it to a friend in another part of the world, and they can add a little bit to it. But of course, you and Andy, you live in the same house, so that must help.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it massively does.
Yeah. And if you were to describe the music of the Far North, where would you place it?
Well, I just thought it was. Well, I'll take you back. With the Fireflies, we were kind of like a little indie rock band, and people. I think it was Fireworks magazine. Ian Parry had done a review of one of our albums and said it's got one foot in UK Americana and one foot in indie rock or whatnot. And I thought, okay, that's interesting. Yeah. So with the Far North, the way because we've taken some of the songs from the Fireflies into the Far North, and obviously half of the album's written fresh. So for us, it's UK Americana, but the UK Americana scene is absolutely burgeoning at the moment. It's really it's got its own charts, it's got its own awards. It is a very recognised and real genre. I spoke to someone very recently who asked about the UK Americana tag and said it was an oxymoron and it doesn't exist. Now, I'm not that kind of person who just shoots someone down like that, but for me, UK Americana, it seems like a perfect genre for our music because it is like that. It is, it is heartland rock. You know what I mean? Not a lot of what we do sounds like it's massively British, and I think the roots of it lie in the likes of Neil Young and Springsteen and all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, for me, UK Americana, but we don't mind old country or old folk or indie or whatnot like that. It's all good for us.
Yeah, perfect. And the new single, Runaway, it's an absolute corker. Yeah.
Thank you.
Tell us what it's about.
Yeah, well, the song really, it's just about that Thelma and Louise kind of hitting the road with either your best mate or your partner, or and just, I'm not saying leave your troubles behind forever, but at least hit the horizon and keep on going and just kind of live for the day. You know what I mean? It's like that vignette of like a 70s or 60s road movie, or 90s, be it Thelma and Louise, and just getting away from it for a little bit and just kind of being with the one you love and making these memories, just getting away from what's grim at the moment. So I think a lot of people could probably relate to that right now, actually. But I wanted to write it in a Born to Run vein, and I think, I'm not going to obviously compare my music to Springsteen, of course I'm not, but I think, it's there or thereabouts. I think it's definitely in that wheelhouse.
And it's just been released, and you've had some fantastic news, literally, as you came on air now. Tell us what's happened.
Yeah, we just had news from the label that the track is number 4 on the Americana charts and number 7 in the country charts in the UK at the moment. So that's massive, and obviously whoever's downloading it or streaming it, we're massively thankful for that. So it just goes to show that there is an audience for this kind of music. I mean, we didn't even do a video for this track. There's no video out there for it. So we just thought we'd try a bit of an experiment and just see if how far we could take it. And
it could be forgiven for getting a bit excited about that. I've got to be honest with you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
And just one last thing. I mean, talking about audiences. I mean, lockdown has smacked everybody upside the head, and I think musicians and entertainers have been hit possibly the hardest. Really, are there any plans in place for you to do any socially distanced gigs or online shows or anything?
Yeah, I mean, we'd love to do some more online shows. That's something that we're definitely going to do in the next couple of weeks, especially with the album release in November. We did one gig at Old Trafford Stadium before the lockdown, literally days before the lockdown, which was really cool. And then, the socially distant thing, I don't know. We've just been locked down because we're in Runcorn in the Tier 3 thing now. So obviously pubs, everything's just kind of closed. So we're not sure. We're just it's hard to second guess it, to be honest with you. So we were hoping that Q2 in 2021, maybe things will start to open up. We can get a tour, we can get out there. But it just seems the light just seems to be getting further and further away every day. Yeah. So we're just going to have to see how it all goes, really. But we're really, really keen to get out there. As you'd imagine, So as long as when the world does open up, we'll be ready for it. Hopefully behind the scenes we can kind of formulate some kind of tour or something. So.
Yeah, brilliant. And I can't let that go. What gig were you doing at the Old Trafford Stadium? That must have been incredible.
It was amazing, yeah. We did. Man United we're huge United fans, and they launched a new podcast, which was with our friend David May. He's always been a big fan of the Fireflies and in turn the Far North. And there was like Lee Martin, Sammy McElroy, Norman Whiteside, a load of the players there, Wes Brown. They were doing this United podcast, and we've been on MUTV. Well, the Fireflies have been on MUTV so many times. We were the house band more than once on a few of their shows. Paddy Crowell's 80th, we were invited to be the band there. That was live at Old Trafford on MUTV. So I've known those guys for a while. They're super beautiful, and they just said, "Listen, do you want your debut gig to be at Old Trafford on match day when we beat City as well, which was incredible, and we got tickets." And they just asked us to just play this set while in between. The podcast was being recorded, really, just in front of thousands of people, right next to the Alex Ferguson statue. So it was an incredible day, obviously result-wise, band-wise. And then, we did know there was, the virus was coming. We didn't know at what level. And then I think 10 days later, because it was March the 8th, so I think about 10 days later, they shut everywhere down. So I feel really lucky that we got to experience that before everything happened, It was a great day.
Yeah. And the new single's out now, and it's the second single from the new album, Songs for Gentle Souls. That's out on the 20th of November. It's your debut album for this band, but when an album's released, is the emotion kind of like Christmas Day or exam results day?
Yeah, it absolutely is like Christmas Eve night, I think, for me. It's just like, to have written some of these songs a while ago, to have written some of them like a year ago, to have started work on the album last July and to have finished it in February. Obviously, the very great Nigel Stoney was at the helm of this album. What a producer, and we were very, very lucky to have the Analog Music Fund help us out, and also the label, Red Lantern Records. Just really, really lucky that was like just a synergy of it all coming together at the same time. So it feels like a long time coming, but in terms, we've not been going that long. But I just can't wait for people to hear these songs. And then when you get news that it's spidered its way up a chart somewhere, you just think, well, wow, it's just incredible. It's an incredible feeling, and hopefully the album will find its place somewhere. And it's called Songs for Gentle Souls, and a lot of the themes on it are like obviously love and hope, and one of the main ones is a song called Stronger Together. And it said sometimes it's okay to show your weaker side. It's all right to not be okay. Basically, is the gist of it, and that's what the album's about. It's just about finding the little things in life that you love, and it's okay not to be on top form all the time. I call it the Instagram models and all that. Everyone's having a great day. Well, that's not how life works. So it's one for the underdog, I think.
Brilliant. Lee, it's been an absolute treat to speak to you, buddy. Thanks ever so much for that. And
very welcome.
We're about to give your new single a spin. It's called Runaway. Do you want to cue it up for us?
Absolutely. This is Runaway by the Far North.
There we go, the absolutely fantastic Runaway. This is the second single from the brand new album, soon to be released from the Far North. It's called Songs for Gentle Souls, out this Tuesday, the 20th of October. So there we go. Lee Wylding there from the Far North. And for more information on how to download that album out this week, thefarnorth.co.uk. Brilliant. So this is the Stage and Screen Show, girls and boys, just to keep you up to date with the scores on the door.